Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night loving kindness meditation. My name is Alex. It is wonderful to be here with you all here in person and online. Hello to you all. Hi, Jean. Wonderful to see you again. So, are you new to the Dharma Bum Temple?
I've been here a few times.
Okay, so you're not new. Got it. That's fine. Whew. So I'll dispense with those kind of things. But if there's anyone listening online who knew, hi Brian and Linda. Actually, it's just you two, so none of you are new, but that's okay. That's all right. It's weird. I really look forward to coming here today for no real reason other than I wanted to be here. One of the small joys in life is, I get here about maybe 6:35 or 6:40, and I go down to the bookstore, and the dog down there, Star, runs up and licks my face, and we have fun, and we play tug of war, and we just have a good time together, and it just makes me happy. And I wonder why I don't have my own animal at home. But anyway, I'm glad to play with Star once a week. It just puts me in a really good mood. So I hope you all have had a good week, and you had a good 4th of July holiday. It's been relatively mild, and I've really appreciated that, absolutely. And so here we are, another day of loving kindness, and hopefully you've been putting some of these practices to work in your everyday personal life, everyday work life. Every once in a while, when I'm working, and this, just happens. I just remember these teachings and practice, and I just smile and just stop for a few moments and just say to myself, may I be happy. And I smile. All the things I ask for in meditation, and all the instructions for loving kindness meditation. And it just works every time. Maybe I have anxiety about something, but maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just, going along, working away. I work at home, so it's really easy just to kind of get lost in thought and lost in what you're doing. So this is a small thing. I had some work done on my house, and I had to rip out some of the drywall, and so they patched it. So I have to prime it and paint it, which is fine. But I did a lot of painting today of some patches and realized that I used the wrong paint.
Oops.
I did. It was a flat white, and I used a semi-gloss, and
oops.
And so now these patches are really obvious. It's really obvious because it looks a bit different. The color is the same, but the texture is different. And I just looked at it and just said, whatever, I'll fix it later. And just that attitude, 10, 20 years ago, I would be so angry at myself and just berating myself for doing something so silly as something like that. Because I just thought, I'll just use this paint here that I already have, that I used for the kitchen, which is another texture altogether. And it just,
and I didn't realize what an art there is to those types of jobs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Being skillful.
Yeah, the person who came in and did the work also did he was wiring something. I have a living room that doesn't have a fan on top, and so but there was no wiring for it, so we had to come in and put the wiring in. That's why he had to take the drywall out. And when he patched it, because he does the patches too, and a lot of people don't do that. the job that he did was like expert. Like expert. I know he doesn't like to do it, but the job that he did was like expert. It was just amazing. I was so happy, but now I have to, paint it again. Sand it and paint it again. That's it. They're not big patches. Yeah, but something, a silly mistake like that would have just sent me overboard. Just like berating myself. Now I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just do it again. And that was pretty much the end of it. I work at home. I have plenty of time. And it doesn't take a long time either. So, all right. And that's a small benefit of the practice, but it's something that I notice. So it's really, really useful, I think, and really skillful is to, once you're doing these practices for a while, notice like if you don't get annoyed about something that used to annoy you, or you don't get mad at something that used to make you mad, or you don't react the way that you used to react about, whatever it might be. Because those things aren't sticky anymore. And I like to use this word sticky. I think Pema Chodron used to use it, and I really like this word sticky. The Buddha, being an enlightened person, he is the unstickiest of unsticky people. And when I mean sticky, I mean things that arise, unskillful states that arise, like anger, restlessness, worry, lazy, sloth, torpor, doubt, any of these hindrances that can arise. It's okay that they arise. It's not a problem that they arise. But the question is, do they stick, and how much do they stick? Because when they stick, that's when we're grabbing onto them. And we can be very, very sticky. And the Buddha, a lot of these states did arise at him, but he wasn't sticky at all, so they never stuck. They arose, but nothing ever happened, so they just diminished. So that's why he was an enlightened person. For us, a lot of times when these unskillful states arise, they're very sticky. And when they're sticky, they're hurt, and this is when we react. This is when we flip the finger at somebody, on the highway, or get mad at ourselves, or yell and scream, or do whatever it is that we do. So this is very much a practice of getting unstuck and unsticky. And this process, this practice of loving kindness is a way to get very unstuck and be unsticky. So let's do that. All right, let's see here. Is everybody ready? Hi.
Hi.
Okay, well, we can start with that. All right. Oh, hello, Linda. Hi. Here we go. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that nice, stable and sustainable posture, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, because each Buddha has their own tree of enlightenment. And you can choose whatever tree you want and imagine yourself sitting underneath that tree, ready for the days abiding of this sublime practice of metta, unconditional friendliness and goodwill, this practice of loving kindness. And so at first, we're just going to get connected to the breath. And you can focus on your breath or Yeah, focus on your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Or focusing on the belly or the chest, feeling its expansion and contraction as you breathe. Just taking a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. And then after a short time, just figuring out what kind of breath is going to keep you connected to the present moment. Because even in meditation, even in this loving kindness meditation, we still always want to maintain about 25% of our attention on the breath. The breath is our anchor. The breath is our home. That place we can always come back to when anxieties of the day stop by and visit us. So just for the next couple of minutes, let's just rest as gently as we can in the sensations of the breath. To begin our practice of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, good word, amity, non-offensiveness, we're first going to think of a benefactor. And again, a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love, great kindness, someone it's really easy to kind of have these feelings for. Mother, father, brother, sister, family, any family member that's not a romantic partner, best friend, inspirational teacher, or anyone you've benefited from their love and kindness. Picture them in your mind and just radiate loving kindness towards them, wishing them happiness, wishing they do the things that cause happiness, which is their skillful thoughts, words, and actions. Or you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them, like, may you be happy. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. Or you can make up your own phrase of loving kindness, so long as it has this loving and kind intention behind it. Smiling always helps. Smiling can put the mind in a really good mood. You can have one benefactor, more than one benefactor. They could be living, they could be not living. There's so much flexibility here, so use it and wish loving kindness for your benefactor. And now shifting our focus just a little. So now we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us, wishing us loving kindness. And the only thing that we have to do is just receive all of it. We already have the experience of their love and kindness in our own heart. That's why they're a benefactor. So we just call this to mind. Imagine them either radiating loving kindness to us or just repeating phrases of loving kindness to us. And just let as much of it as you can in your own heart. If there's any tension or tightness, any part of your heart that says, no, I can't do this, you don't have to fight against it. Just breathe in, breathe out, and just give that tightness some space to do its thing. Maybe it relaxes, maybe it doesn't, it's okay. Just smile. Imagine your benefactor or benefactor is doing this practice for you. And receive all of this loving kindness again into your own heart. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And shifting our focus again to probably the most important part of this meditation is now doing this practice for ourselves. So first, just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be free from harm and healthy, content and easily satisfied, humbled and not conceited, be contented. And it's a wish that everyone has for themselves. Everybody just wants to be happy. We may not go about it in the best way, but everybody just wants to be happy. And this practice of metta, loving kindness, when it fills the heart, will push everything else out. That's not skillful. That's harmful to us. Because this quality is so expansive. So light, so happy, so wonderful. That negativity and negative emotions can't affect it. And repeating these phrases of loving kindness for yourself. May I be happy. May I do the things that cause happiness. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. And smiling if you can. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, we can, all this loving kindness that we've generated for ourselves, for others, we can explore the limitless quality of the heart by now wishing loving kindness for all beings and giving all that away. And with a heart of loving kindness, it automatically would just flow. It becomes an inexhaustible supply, which can be freely given however you want to give it. Now we'll explore this limitless potential of the heart and do this practice for all beings in all directions. May all beings be happy. May all beings do the things that cause happiness. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at ease. And we'll do this practice for all beings, the final part of our meditation. Just open your eyes when you're ready. Let's just take the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Keeping that mindfulness of love and kindness about you. Give up on those thoughts just because we're not meditating. So stretch, reflect. Ask for questions in about a minute. So let's just take the next minute or 1 minute out and just stretch and reflect and think of a question. Thank you for being here, the other people online who showed up. Thank you. I like that. I feel all relaxed now. You don't have to feel that way, but I do. Sometimes, I spend a little too much time thinking about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to say as I lead the meditation. Not tonight. It all just seemed to happen. I'm grateful for that. So, are there any questions on the instructions at all that I gave? Hopefully, they're relatively straightforward. I tried to make them as straightforward as possible. Okay. Was there any part of the Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You referred to meta. What is that?
See. Thank you for that question. Usually I say that at the beginning. And so metta, M-E-T-T-A, is the Buddhist word for loving kindness. So it could be, I say the Buddhist word, Buddhist isn't a language, but it comes from the old Pali language, which is a language which we think is pretty close to what the historical Buddha spoke. Now, when you have this word, metta, that has this meaning, there's such a richness in the meaning of this word metta. There's this monk, he had 20 different words that metta could mean. And he really means it can mean all of these different types of things. Unconditional friendliness, loving kindness, goodwill, inoffensiveness, amity, cooperation, all these different types of things that really encapsulate what metta means. And this is wonderful that we have this because, traditionally when you're doing this practice and you're doing it for all different types of people, you might want to use one part of that meaning for people you really like, people it's really easy to do this practice for. And then you have another word that you would rather use for people who you don't know very well, and maybe another word you would like to use for people you don't like at all. Right? So, like goodwill. You could wish goodwill for somebody you don't like. And so it's really a skillful part of your practice to figure out, well, what word do I want to use? What word's the most meaningful to me for whomever I'm doing this practice for? And so when we say this is a loving kindness practice, we're talking about metta. But in the West, we know this mostly as loving kindness, so we continue to use that word. it was really interesting when I forget what his original name was. I think it was Ron Artest. I can't remember. He changed his name to Meta World Peace. That's the meta that we're talking about. That meta. And I don't know if he ever changed it back or not, or if he just kept it. But
He's still Meta World Peace.
he's still Meta World Peace. Nice. I like that. Hopefully, because he was kind of a rough player.
Malice at the Palace.
Yeah, right. He was a rough guy, right? He wasn't one of these friendly guys, and so I think he named himself this as he's trying to kind of change his tone. I think he did a little bit when he played his Meta World Peace. He had his moments still, of course. I remember, but yeah, let's hope that he's trying to live by that. I was going somewhere with that, but I forgot. Oh yeah, I'm answering your question. Yeah, so that's when we're talking about meta, that's what we're talking about. And so let me go ahead and, since you're here, I want to read this. This is the Metta Sutra. These are the Buddha's words on loving kindness. That, from 2,500 years ago. It says, "This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing, in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. And so, this is the Buddha admonishing us, telling us, hey, live your life like this. Live your life filled with loving kindness. And if you do, because a lot of times these sutras, they make some really big promises. Is that if you do this, this will happen. In the Satipatthana Sutra, which is the sutra about establishing sati. what's the English word? Mindfulness. Oh my God. Things just pop out of my head sometimes, and I can't figure what they are. Establishing of mindfulness. The sutra at the very end makes some really, really big promises. It says, if you practice this for 7 years, essentially you will be an enlightened being. That says, not even 7 years, 7 months, and you will do this. Not even 7 months, 7 weeks. And this will happen. Not even 7 weeks, 7 days. This will happen. You will become an enlightened person. So that sutra, this establishing of mindfulness, the Satipatthana Sutra makes these big grand promises. And so this one does too. This one says at the very end, the pure-hatted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. You escape. You escape this round of, the world of samsara, this world of, birth and living and death and birth and living and death. And we all keep on going around and we're stuck here because we're unenlightened. Our ignorance keeps us here. And this practice of loving kindness can absolutely help us escape. Help us get out of here. Because like I said, I think in the, earlier that, if you imagine there's a balloon in your heart and you blow this balloon up and it's filled with loving kindness, it just expands so that it expands to the entire heart. And if you do something like this, you have something like ill will or, anger or, whatever it might be, restlessness, worry, anxiety, doubt, there's no room for it because your heart is just too filled with loving kindness. And you get really, really unsticky at these times. Like nothing, things can arise, but they can't stick because your heart's so filled with loving kindness. And that's why this is so important. And that's why I harp on loving kindness for yourself so much. Because that's how you blow the balloon up. And you can keep, yes?
You mentioned the sutra. What text is that in?
This comes from, let me see where it comes from.
There's something called the card.
In the Samyutta Nikaya 1.8 and 143 to 152. A lot of times in Buddhism, these things are in multiple places. So they're specifically in the Pali Canon, in which is the text that the Theravada Buddhism uses primarily. And so you can find it there. Or you can just, there's this wonderful website that you can go to, or app that you have on, if you have this app on your phone, just goes Access to Insight. The website is just accesstoinsight.org, or it's actually an app. And when you download the app, you download the entire website. And it has everything you could possibly want. Everything. It has everything that has been translated into English, which is the majority of these sutras, the vast majority of these sutras. You can search by topic, you can search by, number, you can search by, whatever you want to search by.
Is that the one that you just read, 143, 162?
Mm-hmm.
This is what should be done, blah, 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 blah. No, good. I've always been wondering.
And the thing about this is, and the wonderful thing that like Tan Jeff does, because this website comes from Valley Center. Valley Center, San Diego County. Access to Insight. So it's accesstoinsight.org, or in the Apple or the Android App Store, just look for Access to Insight. And when you download that app, you download the entirety of the website. It is chock full of information. Commentaries and sutras and all those different types of things. You can just look up whatever you want to look up. It's all there, and again, this website, this is all kind of put together by Tan Jeff's group. Tan Jeff is the abbot of the Metta Forest Monastery, which is a monastery in Valley Center here, North San Diego County. It takes about an hour to get there from here. He has come here to speak a few times. Whenever he comes, he brings books that are free, right? He never charges for books or anything like that. A lot of those books are in the library. You can take a look at those books in the library. He has a whole other website filled with his talks, and that's just called dhammatalks.org. Dhamma, DHAMMA, so dhammatalks.org, and talks on everything, by date, by topic, by whatever you want. And the great thing about this website of these talks is that a lot of these talks are like his evening talks, which are just like 7 minutes long or 8 minutes long or maybe 10 or 15 minutes long. Really, really short, but really, really impactful. You know, a really big mistake, I think, in my own view, of like the American version of the mindfulness group is that there's this idea that the longer the Dharma talk, the better. Because they say like a regular Dharma talk is like 45 minutes, but they have these things called dharmettes that are like 20 minutes long. They call them dharmettes. And dharmettes are meant to imply shorter in length and shorter in value. They don't put a whole lot of stock in dharmettes. Like, oh, I just want to do this little talk on this. A lot of times Jeff's talks are 10, 15, 20 minutes. He can't talk for 2 hours, and then they have those talks on the website. But you can have a wonderful Dharma talk in 10 minutes. That's worth more than any hour-long Dharma talk.
In terms of simplicity, it just comes back to the story of the Buddha, and he's just holding a flower, and that's his talk. That was his sermon. You know,
Yeah, he's holding the flower and just.
That was it. And then
Yeah.
as much time for you to process what it is.
Yeah, and what was really interesting about that is like only one person got it. Like, sorry, Pooch was the only person who got it. Is that right? Do you remember that, Travis? No. Well, there's the sutra about in the Buddha, and I don't know if it's a Theravada. It might be in a more of a Mahayana thing. But the Buddha is just holding a flower. That's it. He's just holding a flower. And that was his Dharma talk. And like one person got it. That's Sariputta, his chief disciple. And then I think Sariputta later explained it. But yeah. So, you know, I love these 7, 10, 15-minute Dharma talks that Tom Jeff gives. You know, he's like American like us. He speaks our language clearly. There's not a whole lot or any hyperbole or extra stuff. He's very to the point, yet still very kind and very compassionate, and you just get it. It's very easy to understand. Yes.
Say that name again. I'm not quite sure. His name.
Okay, so his monk name, his full monk name is Thanissaro Bhikkhu, right? And Bhikkhu just means monk, and Thanissaro is the actual name, right? His actual name, his given name is Jeffrey DeGraff.
And then I
DeGraff.
heard correctly. He's the one that does these short term.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, Tan, we call him Tan. Tan just means like an informal word for teacher. Jeff, Tan Jeff. It's a very kind of informal way to kind of address him. Everyone just calls him Tan Jeff.
and how do I find these short term talks?
Oh, dhammatalks.org. Dhamma, DHAMMA, dhammatalks.org. Filled with MP4s, everything you could possibly want. There's so much information that's out there that's just available. You could listen to these talks on while you're driving or while you're cleaning the house or doing whatever it is that you're doing. Jogging. It's all there. All waiting for you. thank goodness he's made this all available. Can't imagine what we would do without him. He's a prolific translator, and just here's all the information. Here you go. Anything else? Questions, comments? All right. Oh, something online. Hold on. Yes. Thank you, G. Yes, sir.
I just had a question. I've been doing a lot of reading on Zen meditation, but also on Taoism. I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on how the intersection between Buddhism and Taoism flows.
The intersection between Buddhism and Taoism is Chan, or Chinese Buddhism. So Buddhism, like, I think around, I forget when it actually happened, around maybe 3rd to 4th century, went to China, mixed with Taoism, and became Chan, or Chinese Buddhism. So it's very much a mixture in there. And the same thing happened when Buddhism went to other countries. Buddhism went to Japan, mixed with Shintoism, their kind of native spirituality, and that became Zen. It went to Tibet and mixed with Bun, their native spirituality, and that became Tibetan Buddhism. And they still practice Bun. It's actually, they included it in Tibetan Buddhism as one of the schools of Tibetan Buddhism, of the recognized schools.
I think American Buddhism is all about traffic and cars, and people saying, "Oh, I don't want to be angry," and somebody would cut me off. And it's kind of goofy how we.
There is no American Buddhism. They have
our interpretation.
A lot of the American Buddhists became like Zen Buddhists or Tibetan Buddhists or Theravada Buddhists. I mean, there's been effort, but there just hasn't been any native spirituality to kind of mix with, because we're just a mishmash anyway. So it hasn't really stuck the way it wants to, and that's kind of stuck in a good way, right? And so this just hasn't really penetrated. Because we
kind of pick and choose that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, just our nature and just kind of our, we don't really have a culture here. We don't. And so it's just, plus there's a lot of competition, and it's just, so that's what we try to do here. We don't advocate anyone's school here at the Dharma Bum Temple. I have the school that I was educated in, but for me, if you like Zen Buddhism and you want to go explore that, absolutely. Tibetan Buddhism, absolutely. I'll tell you where to go. More the Pure Land, go ahead, go for it. That's what we want to do. Travis, do we have? Are we doing announcements tonight?
Yeah, I was just going around.
Okay. So our new thing that we do here is we'll do announcements after class. And so Travis is going to go ahead and read those announcements for everybody. But before that, let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you. All right. Let's have our announcements for tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am tonight's host, Travis. We opened the Dharma Bum Temple 15 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice with others. Just about every night, we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone battling addiction, drugs, alcohol, or anything else for that matter. A family sangha for parents, kids, toddlers, and teens, which currently meets once a month. And we also offer half-day silent retreats the first Saturday of the month with an RSVP required. Everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We also have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and then bring it back whenever you're done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. And if a few people could stay to close and latch the windows, that would be helpful. Thank you for being here. We wish you well and hope to see you all again.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.